The following program contains graphic descriptions of events including crime scenes of actual murders. Parental discretion is advised. Aileen Wuornos shot 7 men at point-blank range. She said they sexually assaulted her, or at least tried to. She claimed they were all self-defense. For 6 of the murders, she was given the death penalty in Florida. The murders happened between 1989 and 1990. She was executed by lethal injection on October 9, 2002. Aileen was born in Rochester, Michigan, on February 29th in 1956. She had never met her father because he was in jail when she was born. He committed suicide when she was just 12 years old. Aileen was living with her grandparents because her mother had abandoned her and her brother in 1960. She started having sex at the age of 11 with her brother. She claimed abuse of sexual assault and beatings from her grandfather. In 1970, she became pregnant by a friend of her grandfather's. The child was put up for adoption. Soon after, she dropped out of school. It was around the same time her grandmother passed away from liver failure. When she was 15, her grandfather kicked her out of the house. She quickly turned to prostitution to survive. At the age of 18, Aileen was arrested for a DUI and firing a gun from a moving vehicle. She did not show up for the court date. This was in Jefferson County, Colorado. 2 years later, she hitchhiked to Florida. She got married. She also would get into confrontations in local bars. She would do a short time in jail for assault. Her attacks on her own husband caused a restraining order against her just weeks after they got married. She quickly returned to Michigan. It was there she was arrested again for assaulting a bartender. Later that year, her brother passed away from cancer. She also got a divorce. Sometime later, she returned to Florida, to the city of Edgewater. It was there she was arrested for armed robbery. She stole $35 and 2 packs of cigarettes. She was sentenced to 1 year in prison. After prison, she went to Key West. She was arrested again, this time for passing forged checks. Then in 1985, she was a suspect in a theft of a gun in Pasco County. Then in January of 1986, Aileen was arrested in Miami, this time for car theft and obstruction of justice. They found her gun in the stolen car. She later got questioned by police for trying to rob a man in his car for $200. She soon moved in with her girlfriend Tyria Moore. She supported them by being a prostitute. They both were detained by police in 1987 for assault and battery. Aileen Wuornos shot 7 men in the time span of 12 months in 6 counties. Their ages ranging from 40 to 65. They were all shot multiple times. Then on January 9, 1991, Aileen was arrested in a local bar on an outstanding warrant in Volusia County. Her girlfriend had gotten immunity in exchange for her confession. 3 days later, Aileen confessed to all the murders. She claimed self-defense in every case. On January 27, 1992, she was convicted of murder. 4 days later, she was sentenced to death. A few days later after that, she confessed to a few more murders and said that they did not try and rape her like she previously stated. She said she had to get right with God. She received 3 more death sentences. In November, she received her 5th death sentence. During this time, she was denied a retrial. She then pled guilty to the 6th murder. She received another death sentence. Aileen Wuornos was sent to the Florida Department of Corrections, Broward Correctional Institution, death row for women, then transferred to the Florida State Prison for execution. Her appeal was denied in 1996. She asked to terminate any other pending appeals and to fire her counsel. She was quoted as saying, while incarcerated, Wuornos claimed instances of abuse and harassment. She threatened suicide and even a hunger strike if things didn't change. She was becoming more and more paranoid. Wuornos was executed on October 9, 2002. She was the 10th woman in U.S. history to be executed since 1976. That is when the Supreme Court restored the death penalty. Her last meal was a cup of coffee.